Greetings, everyone, and I hope you are doing well. Let us hop into this energy and conduct a general read. As always, on this channel, please take the time to write down whatever it is your specific situation you have tuned into this Oracle channel for is noted via sending yourself a text message or writing things on a sticky note or on your hand. As always, every energy read is for the manifestation of your highest, best good, will, and way timeline. Take what you connect with, leave what you do not. Look out for signs, symbols, images, terms, letters, numbers, and synchronicities to provide you with confirmation about your particular situation. And above all else on this channel, we take accountability, meaning, yes, there was another party involved in whatever the situation is that you are calling in for, looking in to this reading for. But the one thing that is always constant in everything in life is going to be you in each situation. Okay. So let's hop on in and with these oracle cards, see what our general read is. So thank you, Divine Guides, so much for this opportunity. I ask that you relay what messages you would like for the collective to know for the present, this current time and energy. Those of you who are willing and wanting, we thank you so much for what you have said in the past and for what you may choose to say today. All right. Thank you. All right. So our first card up here with our Egyptian Star Oracle cards is beginning of the crane, number 4, construction and building. So present energy, some of you may be building right now in your life. The second card out is the 32, and that is the purification card. And finally, we have the 5, which is the accomplishment card. Beautiful energy read. So 3 plus 2 is 5 and 5, so 4, 5, 5. Or you can see it as 5, 4, 5. We also have a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5, if you see it that way. 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the table. So making steps forward, seemingly counting down, taking steps back, and then another huge leap forward. Right now, are some of you building something? Are you developing a plan, listing out steps to follow? Home construction, working on something within your home, within your residence. You have a place where you desire to be, and you know it will take steps for you to get there. Also, some of you in the present energy are purifying yourself. I'm hearing sweating it out. So you're out there in the sun, you're working, drinking more water, less fructose corn syrup, less processed sugars in general. And it's looking good on you. And you have this aura about you where others can see while you're really taking the time to not only rest, but also engage with doing good things for your body. And what does this lead to? Of course, simplification, accomplishments, you being hoisted up, praised, lifted up by others because the plan you have set in motion with purifying yourself and building things for the better, which by you being more mobile and moving, lead to a huge sense of accomplishment. All right, let's get one more. What divine guides might you want to say to add to this reading or clarify? We caught this, anything that has already been said. So thank you so much. And we caught this one too. Respect and admiration is what that says. Anything else? One more pull. Thank you so much for what you have chosen to say. Is there anything else you would like to say or any confirmations? Thank you. All right, we have one in the reverse on top of our middle, and that is strength. So with this Be Strength Horus card, what is it that you seemingly are finding hard to do? And we have an individual here who is taking down two adversaries. So potentially you're finding it hard to do two things at the same time for some of us in the collective, for some of you in the collective. You're feeling as if, wow, I can build a plan and decide on a course of action to go towards, but taking care of my body is just not it. Maybe that is an area where you're looking for some assistance, and that's okay. You are still strong, you are still able, you are still capable, and you're just being told right now your plan B is what's going to work out. So if you have a plan, go smaller. Plan A was very ambitious. Plan B might be something as simple as walk for 30 minutes or ensure you walk for 2 miles a day. Or it can be smaller than that. After you eat, make sure right after you walk for just 10 minutes and not inside the house, whether it be rain, hot, or cold. You make sure you walk outside where there's trees, grass, nature, and you get fresh air in for 10 minutes after you eat, so that that glucose spike you got from whatever it is you eat, even if it's not sweet, the carbs cause a glucose spike as the insulin gets pumping to help process the food that you just ate. Just ensuring that the only thing you drink is water and ensuring that you walk for 10 minutes after each meal can really do wonders for the body. So whatever your plan B is, that's great. All right, stick to that and cultivate one, develop one. Not as many workouts is what I'm hearing. All right. What would you like to say now to these cards, providing any confirmation? Thank you. Or new information? Are there any additional confirmation cards and new information? Thank you for what you have chosen to say. So we have two cards here, landing in between our 432. All right. We have 29 and 23. So alchemical force, and we have union and power. So some of you are building not just for yourself, but for others, for a collective, for a community. And with union and power, you're building with someone else. So I'm hearing a team, a sense of accountability, which is great and awesome to have accountability partners. But even if that is not the case, union with yourself, union with your mindset, seeing things for what they actually are. What are your hurdles? What are your barriers? With alchemical force, I'm getting you're touching in, and you're feeling the need to touch in with all elements. And what that could look like or mean for some of you is making sure you have a plant in your home for earth element, or getting a purification plant like a snake plant or pythos plant. Then there's the element of air and making sure you at least open up the windows in your residence once a week minimum to air all the energy of that week out. Even if that becomes a ritual of whatever your cleaning day is, that's when you open up the windows and you let fresh air, fresh energy in. And then when you get finished cleaning, you close it back up. Then with water element, this is the easiest for most of us to work with, which could be a shower ritual. Always wash your body in the same way each time, seeing the water as washing off whatever occurred the day, washing away conversations and providing you with the purity and renewal to begin again. Or it can be a hand washing ritual. Again, air energy can simply be speaking prayers, mantras, affirmations. These can easily be found online, or if you have a particular book like the Bible or another religious text, that you state that scripture over and over again. I used to say this on the channel in the beginning, but my favorite scripture was always, I think it was Proverbs 3 or Proverbs 5:4:3. Let me see if I can find. I know my old one. Oh, here is my old one. Yeah. And you can see how old it is. It's this page in particular has been torn off because I would sleep on it so much. There it is. Yep, it was 3, 5, and 3 and 5 and 6. Yep. So mine, I remember, used to be this one, and I committed it to memory. It was Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all of your ways, when you acknowledge Him, He will direct your paths." And that was the one that I, from a very young age, growing up in the church, though I do not affiliate with Christianity anymore, that one still sticks with me to this day in terms of I trust in source. I trust in the manifestation of the highest, best good, will, and way. I trust in the efforts of the divine gods in the unseen realm and energy working on my behalf and on behalf of the highest, best good, will, and way being made manifest with all of my heart. Miracles, manifestations, positive energies, wonderful turn of events. I trust in that. And I don't lean on my own understanding, meaning that I have to make it happen. That was a mindset coached into me by my ex husband. If it's going to be, it's up to me. No, it's not solely up to me. And when I acknowledge that in all of my ways, my path is rightly guided and directed. So for some of you, it's an alchemical thing. Again, alchemical and manifestation and magic and prayers. And what faith is having complete alignment of your vessel for an outcome to be a specific thing consistently. And that is what the resulting outcome is. Some people's manifestation window is shorter because they're very skilled in practice. For some people, their manifestation window can be 2 weeks, 3 days, 4 days, 4 months, 3 months. It varies. But that alignment, for those of you who are wondering what that is, it's alignment of the mind and the heart and the body, your thinking, your feeling, and your action. So, what do you think? How are those synaptic connections going off in your brain about a situation? How do you feel? The pinging of your heart. So, you have your mental brain waves with your brain and your mind, your thinking, and you have the emotional, the feeling, the beat and rhythm of how you feel that a thing should be, but more specifically, already is, because you're seeing it as it already should be. And then your body, are you moving throughout space with every gesture when the thought comes up in your mind, correcting any alternative outcome than the one that you desire? So somebody needed that. And again, we have 2 twos out here. We have, again, with this 29, besides the 2 and the 32 and the 2 and the 23, we have a 9. We have two nines actually. 5 plus 4 is 9. So we have two nines on the table. And then we have, of course, a 23 and our 32. So 23, 32 could be significant for someone. But the divine guides are letting you know we're working together. We have the power, the unseen power and strength that you need to make this come about. Take it to plan B. There is always a good thing about having a plan B. That means you have prepared yourself to still finish the course, to still run the race and get to and through that finish line. All right, let's see if there are any more cards and we'll go to our next deck. So I'm loving this energy. Construct and develop a plan. Use all of the elements: earth, air, water, fire. For some of you, this can be lighting a candle, always saying a prayer in the AM and in the PM. Prayer does not have to be long, or mantra over fire to work with the fire element. And then with metal, if you have any type of metal, key term, any type of metal, even if that's holding a penny, a nickel, a dime, a quarter, a piece of jewelry, regardless of the type of metal, working with the metal energy and engaging with all that alchemical force, and acknowledgement that there are elements outside of your realm of control working on your behalf for that best outcome to be made manifest. That's the union and power you need. That is what you are doing when you purify, is you're letting go of saying the outcome is being manifest, is coming to be, I'm controlling it through this way. You're acknowledging that there can be a plan B, an unseen realm working on your behalf, and that leads to your accomplishments. All right, any final clarifications or confirmation? Thank you so much for what you have chosen to say. Oh. All right. We have enlightening, and we have here resourcefulness, both over our middle sections. So with 1, raw enlightening, and with our 21, resourcefulness. And we can even see this as 1111 because the 2 1s and the 21, and then the 1 and 1 and the 1 and 21. Whew. Excuse that yawn. You are enlightening yourself through this path. You're keeping your eyes open, your mind open again. Plan B, that you are strong simply by your ability to deviate, to alter, to adjust in order to still accomplish the goal, to finish building yourself, your vessel up. The number one key element for a prosperous life is health. And how are you taking care of the health of your body and your mind and your spirit? Physical is a huge part of it. It is a reflection of the effort that we put in. But what you are enlightening yourself to, again, is this alchemical force and having union with the unseen realms who clearly have allowed you and are co-creating with you to be with life for such a time as this, to accomplish great things. And not only are you being enlightened that, again, as you travel the waters, there are unseen forces supporting you, but these unseen forces want you to acknowledge them as your resources. And by acknowledging them and calling on them and using them, that resourcefulness is what, again, gets you closer to your accomplishment. So I like this. I like this energy a lot. I like it a lot. It's very synchronistic. Let's do one more. our final pull. So again, thank you, divine guides, for what you have chosen to say. I am really appreciative of how synchronistic and on point what you have chosen to let come out in the cards has been. And I ask with this deck of cards that you only provide clarity for the collective. With our 2, 3, 4, 5, acknowledging that we can be at a great place, take a couple steps back, but we still end up with those accomplishments. Plan B is so important to note, to work with the alchemical force, to work with fire by potentially candlelight, air by speaking, working with water with potentially cleansing, with earth, potentially with plants, and definitely working with fire, potentially by candlelight. We, in our metals, we thank you so much for just acknowledging that these elements exist for a reason, and knowing and believing and acknowledging union with them and union with the unseen realm is what grants us power to have this strength, and thus to purify our mind that things happen one way or the highway, to note that plan A is not the only true path. Plan B does exist. And this enlightening force is providing us with more productive use of our resources. Again, that gets us to this accomplishment. We just have to get over that hurdle of acknowledging that plan B does exist. And I feel the need here to go on a little tangent. Religion, formalized religion, all of them came into existence around the same time. I, by trade, and I've said this before on the channel in older videos, am a history teacher and was also a history major. And the types of history that I studied and specifically specialized in allowed me to learn so much about the world, especially with the opportunities to travel abroad, that these religions, even when we look at Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism, Islam, all of them are literally man-made. Islam, man, Muhammad. Christianity, masculine energy, God, male, Jesus, male. Catholicism, we all know about the Roman Empire, male dominated, Roman Catholic Church, Roman Empire in terms of Knights Templars and very masculine, militant led energy. Buddhism, Hinduism, again, male led energy. Buddha, male. Siddhartha Gautama, male. All of these masculine made religions all popping up around the same time period on earth negate a simple physical truth, which I'm not going to go in that direction right now, but prior to all of those male man-made religions, original spiritual system, so again, religion being man-made cultivation of belief systems to shape mindsets into patterns of behavior to produce an easier controllable human population outcome. Religions prior to that, cultural processes prior to that across the globe were matrilineal, female based, acknowledgement of the womb, things like Mother Earth, things like Mother Gaia, feminine water deities, feminine day deities and night deities, feminine warrior deities. Everything was originally acknowledging of the partnership between masculinity and femininity, not the headship of masculinity. This complete knockoff of the value, the devaluing of feminine energy was cultivated across cultures across the globe around the same time. But that's a history lesson and topic for another day. Let's go ahead and find our confirmations within these decks of cards and wrap it up. But I just felt the need to say it's okay to acknowledge that there are truths prior to the widely accepted, cultivated truth, and that to work with those while balancing what to do with what you have been taught is okay. And psychology, which is another area of study that I valued so much and took serious time and attention into comprehending so well, there's a term called cognitive dissonance. And with cognitive dissonance, this is when you realize that just because information has become an accepted truth, a widely held truth due to repetition, things like believing the grass is always greener on the other side. We know that is not the case. But if that phrase is taught as a truth, it will be hard to break holding on to that statement as the truth, similar to saying that the early bird gets the worm. But let's look at this reversal here. We have the pyramid, sacred archetypal element of earth. So in the reverse, some of you, and we have a 2 and a 3 here. So again, 2332. And we have 23 here. So 2 23s out on the table. 23 and 23 and 32. Some of you are afraid of working with elemental energy, the archetype of your mind, how it has been crafted, because you perceive, well, my parent guardian, my mother, my father would not have led me wrong. My grandparent, my aunt, my uncle would not have led me wrong. Again, go back to cognitive dissonance. It was taught. And don't let me get into African American history with this, because that's a whole nother beautiful wormwood rabbit I would love to go down on, and maybe might one day on here. But the denial of participation in religion and the justification of use of it for, again, cultivating, crafting a mind that would be willing to obey master, to turn the other cheek, to be willing to acclimate into society by, for lack of a better phrase, bending over and just taking what was done because it was punishment for taught past sins. This is your lot in life, your position in life. When we talk about that time period known as, and you all know the phrase, slavery. But acknowledgement that, and I do teach this as well, one of the histories I have the fortunate ability to teach is African American history as well as an elective course. These formalized religions were brought to the continent of Africa and introduced to elders and leaders as a form of cultural acknowledgement and respect of differing political and economic patterns. Key term, brought to the continent of Africa. And again, through my studies and what I teach, and because of how school districts work with teaching this particular history, you have to have your primary sources and your evidence and your facts to back that up. I have hundreds, and I'm sure there are thousands I have never seen of primary sources, proof of confirmation that spiritual systems existed, religion was introduced in an effort to shape a mind, to acclimate to a cultural pattern, behavior, belief system to make it easier to conquer. Take with that and do what you will. But let's get one more set of confirmation cards and wrap this energy read up. Woo. Thank you so much for what you have said. And what would you like to say? All right, we caught that as well. No more. And that is perfectly fine. I'm thankful and grateful. So here it is on the table. There's no need really for a recap. You've got this. Build a plan. Be comfortable with plan B. Get practice with working with the elements. Apply purifying yourself in some way, shape, fashion, or form to be a part of this process. You got this. I believe in you. Life is always with the ever constant of change. So become enlightened. It's okay to acknowledge your resources and to use them again in secret and in private. Either way, no matter how much or how little you choose to integrate these truths, it will lead to accomplishments. So peace, and I will catch you all on the next one.